The Sanderson sisters are back, witches! New year, new movies, multiverses, book adaptations, reboots. Kristen here, and we are talking about my most anticipated movies of 2022. Based on the book by High School Musical, the series creator Tim Federle, Better Nate Than Never follows an unpopular Midwestern kid who has Broadway dreams. It stars newcomer Ruby Wood as Nate, Joshua Bassett as his big brother, Aria Brooks, Norbert Leo Butz, and Lisa Kudrow. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is taking on the mantle of the anti-hero Black Adam, the archenemy of Shazam, in a star-studded solo film. Billy Eichner is co-writing and starring in the rom-com Bros, about two gay men looking for love. In a history-making turn, it's going to feature an all-LGBTQ+ cast, and even the heterosexual roles will be played exclusively by LGBTQ+ actors and actresses. After an almost 2-year delay because of COVID, the Bob's Burgers movie is finally hitting theaters this year. While we don't know too much yet, it is going to be an animated musical. What's not to love? 15 years after their happily ever afters, the cast of Enchanted returns for Disenchanted. In this new story, Giselle ends up wishing that their lives were the perfect fairy tale, and it ends up backfiring badly, and has her rushing to save both her family and the kingdom of Vandalasia. The original cast returns, as does Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz, to create even more original music for this sequel, with Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, and Olivia Wilde. Don't Worry Darling follows an unhappy housewife in the 1950s who uncovers a disturbing truth. Michelle Yeoh stars in the trippy and action-packed Everything Everywhere All at Once, about a Chinese woman who gets swept up in an insane adventure where she can save the world by exploring other universes, connecting with lives she could have led. The Sanderson sisters are back, witches! In Hocus Pocus 2, 3 young women accidentally bring the Sanderson sisters back to modern-day Salem and have to figure out how to stop them from wreaking havoc. Knives Out 2 centers around Daniel Craig's Detective Blanc taking on a brand new mystery, and this cast is just as star-studded as the last one, with Dave Bautista, Janelle Monáe, Kathryn Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Madeline Klein. There are so many stars in this. It's gonna be wild. While there's not a lot out about Legally Blonde 3 just yet, the film is coming this spring, written by Mindy Kaling and Dan Gore, following the life of a 40-year-old Elle Woods. Elle has been such a huge inspiration for so many young women, and I would love to see what her and Emmett and their future kids are up to now. Jennifer Lopez makes her return to rom-coms in Marry Me alongside Owen Wilson and Maluma. She plays an international superstar who has this elaborate publicity plan to marry her fiancé in the middle of her concert, but when paparazzi find him cheating, everything goes out the window, and instead she ends up marrying a random man that she just picks out of the audience. What blossoms is an unlikely romance tested by their differing lifestyles. Nickelodeon is teaming up with Mattel for a live-action Monster High that follows the children of some of the classic Hollywood monsters, so sort of like Descendants, but horror? The movie is going to follow Claudine Wolfe, who is a werewolf that arrives at a new school. She makes friends with Frankie Stein and Draculaura, but what happens when they find out that she's half human? I love Jordan Peele's horror movies, and he has a brand new one coming out this year called Nope. The description has been very hush-hush, but we know that Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, Stephen Yeun, and Barbie Ferreira are going to star in it. 25 years after the first Scream, a brand new killer is donning the ghost face to start targeting a new group of teenagers who have a connection to the past. There are so many exciting young actors joining this cast alongside veterans Courtney Cox, Neve Campbell, and David Arquette, including Jenna Ortega, Dylan Minnette, Mason Gooding, Jack Quaid, Melissa Barrera, and Jasmine Savoy Brown. In Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, we pick up a year after the events of the last film, with Miles Morales going on a brand new adventure with Gwen Stacy and a whole slew of new Spider people to take on a new big bad. Chosen Jacobs and Lexi Underwood star in a new reimagining of Cinderella, centered around an aspiring sneaker designer who falls for the daughter of a basketball star and sneaker tycoon. This just seems like a really fun and creative twist on the Cinderella story, having a Cinderfella as the lead. The School for Good and Evil is a new Netflix film coming from director Paul Feig. It follows the adventures of best friends Sophie and Agatha, played by Sophia Riley and Sophie Ann Caruso, who are kidnapped to go to the School of Good and Evil. They have to work to figure out a way home, and their friendship is put to the test. This film also stars Charlize Theron, Michelle Yeoh, Kerry Washington, and Lawrence Fishburne. With fun animation that gives off cuddly Hulk vibes, Disney and Pixar's Turning Red is about a 13-year-old girl who poofs into a red panda whenever she feels overwhelmed or stressed. There's also going to be a really fun boy band called Four Town in this movie, whose music was written by Billie Eilish and Phineas. From the minds of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline, and Get Out comes Wendell and Wild. The new Netflix stop-motion comedy is the latest collaboration between Key and Peele, and the film follows two demon brothers who escape the underworld and find themselves in a town where they have to evade a teenager out to destroy them. Now I want to hear from you. Are any of these movies on your list? What movies are you most excited to check out this year? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out the exclusive Discord available on my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!